It has become a challenge to wear garments more than 5 times. Why? Garment quality is declining every year. As a result, our clothes immediately look faded, shapeless, or worn out. Trends are changing so quickly that we cannot keep up. We continue to purchase just to stay up to date. This is called fast fashion. Most consumers don't stop to consider where their clothes is from when visiting a clothing store.
The growth of consumerism, fast fashion is seen in stores all over malls.
Fast fashion is the inexpensive clothing produced rapidly by mass market retailers in response to the latest trends. Before we continue, stop to take a minute to look at the clothes you're wearing. Do you remember why you bought it, where it's from, and how much you paid for it?
Fast fashion is the culprit behind severe unethical practices affecting workers and the environment.
Clothes, as a result of this phenomenon, move from the runway to the consumer and quickly to the garbage. Consumers have purchased 400 times more pieces of clothing than we did 2 decades ago, and studies reveal that the average American throws away 82 pounds of textile waste each year. The fashion industry is the second largest polluter in the world just after the oil industry, and the environmental damage is increasing as the industry grows. In most of the countries in which garments are produced, untreated toxic wastewaters from textile factories are dumped directly into the rivers. These harmful chemicals, which include lead, arsenic, and mercury, contaminate aquatic life and eventually spread across the globe through our oceans. Not only do they contaminate the world's water resources, these chemicals also present a real danger to our health when they are worn on the skin and absorbed into the body.
So how does this happen? In order to push these trends into mainstream consumers, this means costs at the supply chain are cut as much as possible in order to manufacture clothes quickly and inexpensively. The clothing industry today saves as much money as they can while they mass-produce clothing trends and make the prices appealing to everyday consumers.
So an example seen by mass retailers is the copying of major designer brands.
This means that garment workers for fast fashion companies are working harder and paid almost nothing. Factory exploitation has dominated the clothing industry. For example, several studies explored the exploitation and mistreatment of Asian female garment workers in H&M and Gap supplier factories. The workers report physical abuse, sexual harassment, poor work conditions, and forced overtime.
However, fast fashion has grown, and major retailers like H&M, Forever 21, Zara, Fashion Nova, and Topshop have influenced other small clothing companies to follow their model of fast fashion. As you walk around a mall, smaller clothing companies mimic styles seen in other stores, but most importantly, mimic prices as well. Why do we continue to shop at these stores? The reason why some of us buy these fast fashion items, despite them being unethical and damaging for the environment, is the price. When you are a student or a person coming from low-income background, you don't consider these things. At the end of the day, the price we pay for these seemingly cheap clothes is much higher, but we don't see it immediately because all we want is to look good without spending a fortune.
How can you stop adding to the garment waste? There are several alternatives that may or may not apply to every consumer. For one, a consumer should buy expensive, well-made clothes that they would not dispose of because of its price. This, however, does not mean buy a designer. You can also shop at secondhand stores such as Goodwill or thrift stores. By doing so, you aren't advocating for fast fashion. Lastly, there are several outlets and apps that educate and reveal the truth about clothing companies. For example, the app Good On You rates clothing companies based on their ethical standards and environmental friendliness. Always ask, who made my clothes?